Let's podcast alongside Demetri Ravanos.
That's right.
I'm Joe Ovies. Joe Giglio is on a maintenance day. He is not here, but we are inside Eford Studios. Thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management, get everything you need up into the cloud. I guess we're going to be doing that here relatively soon in college football circles because you're going to hit that cloud of white smoke when they finally land on whoever their new coach is going to be. I mean, we already got 2 firings. I was listening to the Yahoo college football podcast with Andy Staples and Stephen Gottfried and Ross Dellinger, and they were floating out the idea that last year was not viewed as a crazy hiring cycle for a variety of reasons.
I think the last 2 years are largely viewed as that.
And the reason why is because college athletic departments didn't really know how things were going to go with house.
Right.
Like, how much money are we going to have? How do we allot these things? What you saw over the last couple of years were some restructurings. It was like, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't need to pay you all this money, and this money can redirect to where it really needs to go. Right. But this offseason, or hell, we're not even midseason. We're a couple of weeks into the season. We already have 2 firings at Virginia Tech and at UCLA.
My favorite part of this is we have entered that period of time once every 5 years where UCLA pretends they have some sort of football stadium.
I know. You want to sell me on basketball? Cool. With football, you're always told these things about, well, there's the recruiting and this and that. I'm like, guys, stop.
I mean, look, it's similar. Now, obviously, lower level because we're talking the American versus the Big Ten, but it's very similar to Charlotte, right? Coaches are sold the idea of, look, Charlotte is this growing area for high school football and people are moving here and you're right in the middle of the city, blah, blah, blah. And then you get there and nobody in any level of power at UNC Charlotte wants, let alone cares about the football team.
Yeah.
It's very similar at UCLA.
Now, we're going to talk to Joel Anderson from The Ringer. He does the Press Box podcast and The Ringer Tailgate as well. He's a TCU guy. So obviously we'll start the conversation with what's it like being the fan of a school that has opened up their seasons against celebrity coaches.
Yeah.
Right. Could there be a celebrity coach at Virginia Tech?
Look, Michael Vick is there waiting, right?
We talked to David Teal about that earlier in the week. He's like, slow down on that.
Yeah. Let's have James Hetfield say no first.
Well, if the goal is to make sure that people still show up.
Right.
Then you probably might need to do that. Yeah. You got to think a little bit outside the box for Virginia Tech. But here's kind of like if we're going to have this massive hiring cycle, at least that's what the projection is. We're going to have this big hiring cycle. The John Summeralls of the world at Tulane, who could have been had at North Carolina. Instead, they ended up with Bill Belichick. Well, now it's too late. You're right. Now it's too late because you'll probably get an SEC job of some sort.
Yeah. I mean, look, if Florida fires Billy,
which they're going to do.
And
that's done.
If Florida fires Billy, I think you're going to see this domino effect of Auburn might act on Hugh Freeze, even if he's better this year than last year, just because you don't want to get behind. Joe, the SEC has a boner for John Summerall.
I know.
That I have not seen since for Billy Napier.
He is the hot name. But the question, I guess, would be, all these jobs that potentially could be available, why do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Why do you want to do this?
Or have you looked in the mirror to determine, can I do this?
Because the reason why I asked this question
is I want to do a lot of things.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that I would do, but I have ADHD and that prevents me from doing it.
Right.
So, and because I'm of a certain age, medication? No.
Yeah.
I'm going to raw dog this ADHD. Thank you very much. Now, the reason why I bring this up, I'm gonna do your favorite radio bit that I do. Are college football coaches okay?
Oh, sure.
That is my Seinfeld, Colin Cowherd. It reminds me a lot of Apple. This is my version of that. My radio trope of is ... okay.
Yeah.
And today we start with, are college football coaches okay?
There's certainly evidence that the ones that are not okay are very much not okay.
It's because the reason why I asked this question is we start with earlier in the week, we had Brian Kelly lose his shit.
Yeah.
Because he got a legitimate question about, hey man, you won 20-10. But your offense,
what's wrong with the offense?
What's wrong with your offense?
You had 5 turnovers and won by 10 games or 10 points.
And we can get into the dynamics that fans would probably be bored by. And that's why on Monday I asked Giglio, because Giglio actually worked a beat, unlike you and me.
Yeah.
Giglio actually has worked a beat covering a school. And there is a beat, if you will, in terms of how you ask questions and when you ask questions. So, for instance, Brian Kelly, he snapped, and then on Monday, here's the press audio. He starts his Monday press conference apologizing to the reporter for having the audacity to ask, hey, man, what's up with your offense after you won a game?
Hi. Before I get to the game in Southeast Louisiana, I want to go back to the press conference after the game. I've texted with Mike and offered my apology to him for the way I handled the questioning. I think it's important to understand that, my standards relative to how we work with the media on a day-to-day basis need to be higher. And I take responsibility for that, and I'll be better in the future. And understanding also that the way I'm thinking after a game, and we've mentioned this a couple of times in here, the emotions of the game right after it. I haven't watched any film. It's difficult to make those assessments of specifics. And I'm going to defend my team. I'm going to defend my players first and foremost. But having said that, I publicly apologize to Mike, and he's an outstanding reporter. He works hard, and we'll do better moving forward.
Okay. The boilerplate, quote unquote, apology.
God, I hate him so much.
Yeah, well, he's not a lovable character. And I think when I look at Brian Kelly and the way he reacts in that situation, and I think he kind of got to what he's doing. And we see this with coaches all the time. He's trying to protect his players.
Oh,
no, but
wait a minute. The guy that all right.
We don't need to always bring that up with Brian Kelly. I think people understand. Okay. People understand. But what I'm getting at is with Brian Kelly is this is a man at a school who looks at previous coaches that have won national championships.
Right.
And the reason why he came to LSU after having a really nice job at Notre Dame was for what?
Was to win that national championship. It couldn't be done at Notre Dame, he said.
So now we're here, whereas people like to joke. I mean, Ed effing Orgeron won a national championship. Les effing Miles won a national championship here. So it's time for you to win said national championship. So I think there's two things going on here, in that he's trying to make sure that his players are not like taking the rat poison, if you will.
Sure.
Okay? So you got to build them up. Here we go. We have a chance to do this. Number one. Number two, he actually feels legitimate pressure at a place like LSU. So when Brian Kelly snaps like this, when he's already a red ass as it is, that makes sense to me.
He is. I think if I've not shared this with you, I did a whole college football bubble bath about this in the offseason. Like, he is 100% Mayor Larry Vaughn from Jaws. Right. And that reaction after the game on Saturday is more of the same. Like, problem. How dare you mention the problem?
There's no sharks here. We need people to come on down.
But you're right. Like, he is feeling legitimate pressure because he can walk down the hallway to his office and see, oh, this team was better without me. Right? Or this program was better without me. And
this program will still be here whether I'm coaching or not.
Right.
Because you're going to get another guy who's going to be able to recruit at a level that you can't recruit other places.
Look,
and the expectations are you're going to win a freaking national championship.
I think you and I have probably talked about this, right? LSU's program is defined by those 6 national championships that Alabama should have been ours with Nick Saban.
Yes.
But, we didn't have our shit together to pony up to keep him from leaving for Miami when he did. The other thing, and I wonder if maybe Brian Kelly, and this is like to your larger point of our college football coaches, okay, I wonder if enough of these guys, and talking about Brian Kelly specifically here, are smart enough to know I can't go to the structural problems. It can't be done here again.
No.
Right?
Not here.
Yeah.
Not here. So I understand with Brian Kelly. What I don't understand is Dabo. Yesterday, getting asked a simple question about Saturday's loss to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And the question was, is there one play you'd like to have back? This is from Larry Williams, who covers Clemson football for Tiger Illustrated. Dabo was asked to cite one play he'd like to have back from Georgia Tech. His answer was 13 minutes long, 2,340 words. We plan to feature it in a special 5-part series during the open date?
For reference, when I am asked to write introspective columns about the sports media for Barrett Media, my limit is 1,500 words.
So here's a portion of Dabo's 13-minute rant that I have to remind you came after a simple question of, is there one offensive play you'd like to have back? Here is Dabo.
What's so bad about our program? What's so bad about it? Like, what's so bad about the worst season that we've had 14 years? How many programs in college football would sign up for one, and only once, 14 years of 9 wins? How many programs would sign up for that? In the playoffs, so we all talk about, we've been 7 times in 10 years. Who can say that? If we stink because we haven't played for the national championship since January of 20, well, I guess we stink. Or we haven't won it since January of 19. We haven't won the national championship. Well, then I guess we stink. But why are we held to a different standard from all these other teams out there who ain't ever won nothing? We're not perfect, and we may suck this year. We may lay a freaking egg and go 6-6, but I don't think so. And I know that's going to disappoint a lot of people, but I don't think so. I know it's bad because I get in all the text messages. I'm praying for you. Everybody's sending me devotions, and you're going to get through this. And that's when I know it's bad. That's how I feel it because I don't read it. I don't. I know people say that. I promise you, I don't. When it's bad, I don't read nothing. This ain't the worst thing.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there.
I can't read.
That's the reason why I'm Dabo. I'm going to have to pause right there. I don't read any of this shit.
Yeah.
Which is sign number 1 that you do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't go 13 minutes.
Right.
Because people are simply texting you, I'm praying for you. No, you go 13 minutes because you're reading something.
Yeah, you don't set up a fake call from Tyler in Spartanburg because you got something to get off your chest if you're not reading it.
Hey, all I know is that call fake. It was fake. I think you and I would agree, but that was totally a staged call. It worked.
It did.
It absolutely worked. So now I'm wondering, is it going to work again for Dabo? Because they have one conference loss.
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. So this goes on. I mean, this is just a portion of what Dabo had to do yesterday. And he keeps saying any other team would take this. But here's the thing, Dabo. You're not any other team.
Right.
You have elevated the program to a national status where the new standard is, are you competing for national championships?
Right.
Nobody's questioning whether or not they're ACC good. They lost to Georgia Tech. It happens. That doesn't mean you're out of the running for the ACC. It's very, very Dabo and Clemson that everybody's burying them, and then they go off and they win the league again because that's what they do. I still don't trust Miami and Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't necessarily trust Florida State because I think the win over Alabama was more about Alabama than it was about Florida State. I know you're going to say that because you're an Alabama boy. So I am sitting here looking at Clemson going, it's almost like a shoulder shrug, like, yeah, okay. Bad loss to Georgia Tech. You can't do that. Old Clemson doesn't do that. But this is Clemson as it is now.
Right.
And here we are. Now, the reason why I ask is Dabo okay as opposed to Brian Kelly? I know he's getting heat at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where's the heat coming from at Clemson?
This is what bothered me, even the mere suggestion that Alabama would call Dabo Swinney when Nick Saban retired. This is what bothered me.
Yeah.
He's coming from a place, Clemson, is a place where he literally gets applause after press conferences.
Yes.
Just for being there and being a good Christian man and looking you in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
We don't give a fuck about that if you lose on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right? And I get it. Like, Dabo hasn't done a lot of losing on Saturdays. But when he does, he needs to not come in and be humble, but don't act like, how dare you expect that I do what I did for this stretch of time every single year. How dare you expect these standards to have changed? And here's the other thing that bothers me. Who else has gone to the playoffs 7 of the last 10 years? Well, Alabama has.
Alabama has.
Well, Ohio State has.
Ohio State has.
And what have they both done since 2019 that you haven't?
They've won.
They've won a national championship.
And that's the standard that we operate now with Clemson. Again,
this is the thing.
It's the folly of raising a program.
Right. Yeah. This is the standard we operate now with Clemson.
Yes.
You're right. ACC, nobody else can say that. But Clemson has now defined itself as better than the ACC.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So, again, I get back to the central question. Where is this coming from? To your point, and I'm glad you brought it up. It's not like the Clemson media has knives out, dude.
No,
they don't have knives. And I'm not saying this in a disparaging way. Yeah. I'm just simply saying there's a symbiotic relationship there.
And to a certain extent, like he's earned that.
And he has.
The Clemson media did have knives out for Tommy at one point.
And I absolutely give Dabo the benefit of the doubt for what I just laid out the rest of the season. I'm not burying them. I am not. You got to tap into my Catholic jokes here, like I said yesterday.
Yeah, Dabo thinks you're going to hell.
He's lost. I know I'm Catholic. He's lost 2 times, but we know Dabo is not going to be denied a 3rd time.
Very good.
Bam! So he's going to go into his fortress of solitude. The stone will move. He'll come out, and the program will be resurrected once again, and they'll win the ACC. That is my prediction the rest of the way. So I think my theory as to why he's here. He's not an idiot. He knows he's raised the standard at Clemson, which is why he has brought up the playoff success and everything else and winning the league, because that puts him in a position to compete for a national championship. Let's not forget how this offseason was positioned for Clemson.
Yes, 100%.
This offseason for Clemson was positioned, and it's something that I did float and did subscribe to, so I'll be completely upfront about this, that Dabo's way of doing things was going to pay off this year. This Florida State year-by-year proposition crap, nah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Utilizing the portal in the way that you want me to? No, because I'm going to double down on my culture, my guys, and my development. Cade Klubnik ain't it. Old Dabo, knowing he had national championship teams, would yank a guy and put Trevor Lawrence in because he knew I got something here. The fact that we're still trying to make Cade Klubnik a thing tells you where they kind of are right now. And basically the stubbornness of, no, I am developing my guys.
Or it tells you we don't really have a guy behind Cade.
Well, again, that gets back to another issue with Dabo in terms of what do we know about college football? You can develop dudes. I get that.
Yeah.
But you need dudes.
Right.
Okay. That's the difference maker. That's why when we look at like North Carolina, all the development stuff that Bill Belichick's talking about, we're going to get you ready for the 30th. That's great. Do you have dudes? Because national championship contenders have dudes, and they've been struggling with that.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm not saying you're doing this, but the legend of Dabo kind of leaves out that championship that Lawrence won. And in fact, I would say the reason that they booted Bryant for Lawrence is they went out and got a bunch of dudes.
Yes.
Do you remember that class that had Trevor Lawrence in it? Had the top player from 5 different states.
Yeah.
Including going into Alabama, going into Florida, going into Georgia, and getting the best dudes out of there. They can't do that.
They can't. Well, they can.
Can they?
Yes. If they play the game. But Dabo's not. So I think what's happening here is it's not Paul Feinbaum saying the dynasty's over. It's certainly not Clemson media. And honestly, ACC media, we talking about Brian Kelly apologizing. I look around like I get there's people who actually cover LSU, but when we're talking about ACC media, no offense, but
you're clowns.
Nobody out here putting pressure on Dabo.
Right.
I'm like, that's not how it works. I mean, hell, the ACC network doesn't even have an afternoon show anymore.
Yeah. And by the way, I say clowns not as like you're bad at your jobs, but like you all have a sense of humor about this.
Yeah, there is that too. And honestly, most of the times we're already looking at the basketball schedule anyway. So, at least around here.
I'm glad you said it.
Yes, I will say it.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is internalized pressure. That's now like, you've got your Instapot and Dabo, for whatever reason, the pressure release valve came out because I think he realizes, holy crap, I have had faith in myself. I had faith in this program and faith that I am going to be able to get through this, do it my way.
Yeah.
And oh shit, I'm 1-2 right now.
There's also the other part of this with Dabo. This has to be a really confusing place for him because, he's feeling pressure he's never felt before. But like, do you remember the 2016 election? Donald Trump had people chanting, "Only I can fix it" for all of these different things, right? And, it resonated with Trump's people. In like Dabo's case, there's a lot of evidence that he's kind of the only one that can do this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the one who will be able to fix it.
Right.
I'm this, I'm that. But so
it's not getting people to chant it and feel like we've got a slogan. Like, he has reason to genuinely believe he's the only one that can do this.
Yes. Is he, though?
And it's not good enough.
Is he, though?
If he's not, it's because of what he did to get it there.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I don't know. The way Dabo's acting about this sort of stuff, it's almost like, this is where I will channel my Colin Cowherd. It reminds me a lot of marriage. And look, I'll admit that I'm guilty of this. Or like parenting. Actually, it's probably more parenting. It's very much a like, go get a new dad. You know, it's like if Caleb and Jacob get mad at me about something, or like, oh, Dad, why won't you? And I'm like, hey, man, if you got a problem with it, you can always go get a new dad. Yeah. Right. And that's kind of Dabo's attitude right now. He's like, I took you to this national park. We just randomly went to Epic Universe and stayed with your uncle. And then, last time I checked, we're doing this. And is that not good enough?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is at this point.
Well, that's his line.
While the other kids are they're on their Instagram and they're like, oh, well, little Jimmy was able to go to wherever. I'm like, well, I guess maybe you should go with Jimmy's family. That's what Dabo sounds like to me. He sounds like a parent that is the weaponizing the. Well, I guess we're just not good enough parents then.
It's interesting though, right? Because like
anybody with a kid has done this.
His line of, if Clemson is tired of winning, they can let me go. But I'll tell you this, I'm going to go coach somewhere else. I'm not going to sit on the beach.
But that's another tactic. Because remember a couple years he did this.
Yeah.
With the money thing. Well, if we start paying players, well then I'll just go. I'll go coach somewhere else. I'll go pro. Guess who's still coaching at Clemson?
Yeah,
and they're paying players.
I think if you're misremembered, wasn't he going to go coach in high school?
No, I think he was going to go pro.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll go back and double check.
Okay.
I can fix it in corrections and clarifications later.
But
he's done this before. Like, fine, I'll just pick up and go.
Well, that's
Get yourself a new coach then.
That's the thing. I'm going to go somewhere else. It's not like I'm going to sit on a beach. I do wonder how much of a only I can fix it, but only I can be, or only here can I fix things is there going on.
Meanwhile, we haven't even got Steve Sarkisian, but it's still early.
Yeah.
Sarkisian does have it in him to snap. And I'm going to be really curious to see how this Arch Manning stuff goes the rest of the season, because at some point, you're going to look at Quinn Ewers and you're going to look at Arch Manning and go, I thought you were the great QB developer here.
Oh, I still think his track record is long enough. I think Texas fans are more apt to wonder if they got sold a bill of goods on Arch Manning.
I think there's that too. We'll talk about that a little bit more with Joel Anderson here in a second.
Housekeeping.
Big thanks to Enovana. Check them out online at enovana.com. Green cleaning solutions.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
We will have an After Dark coming your way on Saturday following the NC State Duke game. Our After Darks are brought to you by our friends at Bloomin' Blinds. Give them a call, 919-980-9815. Bloomin' Blinds, 10 or more treatments are going to give you 10% off. And it goes beyond just your house. You got an office, you own a company, you're trying to give a presentation, and that nasty sun glare is hitting the screen, and your wonderful deck that you worked on for months can't be seen.
Right.
We'll get some shades. They'll be able to see it.
Can they put shades in our studio?
No, then our lighting would be messed up. We don't need shades. So call Bloomin' Blinds, 919-980-9815. Tell them we sent you. Speaking of After Dark, I'm kind of in a weird spot here. So it is 4:00 game at Wallace Wade. Joe Giglio is going to be at ECU because it's Parents Weekend. Turns out ECU is playing like at 7:00 or something like that.
Did your parents ever actually come to Parents Weekend?
No,
mine didn't either. And no. I'm not saying like Giglio, what a nerd. I am genuinely flummoxed by people that had good parents.
I think it has more to do with the fact that it has nothing to do with whether or not Joe Giglio is a good parent, which he is.
Yeah.
I think it has more to do with the fact that Giglio can't help himself going back to a college campus to tailgate.
Sure.
You give that man an excuse to knock back some natural light apple or whatever, the Bapples, the Bush Light apples, he'll do it. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that.
Right.
I think it's just, tailgate opportunity? I'm there. No, I'm kidding. So looks like Giglio's not going to be available for the After Dark. So I texted Luke DeCock of the News and Observer, and I said, hey, man, are you going to the Duke state game? He goes, yeah, I'll be there. I'm like, okay. Well, I'm looking for somebody to fill in for the After Dark. He's like, well, maybe it kind of depends on how things go. I'm like, all right, we'll put a pin in that. Reached out to Brownlow. Well, Brownlow's working Saturday, so she can't do it. And I was like, okay, well, who else could do this? Let me hit up Chip Patterson, CBS Sports. And I said, hey, Chip, it's a weird time. I know you got Cover 3 to worry about. You might be writing something. He goes, yeah, man, you're right. 4:00 start. By the time that game's over, it's a weird transitionary spot where I'm probably writing something and I'm getting ready for Cover 3, instant reactions. I'm like, okay, I got you. So I'm like striking out. And then, so you sat down.
Yeah, this is starting to feel like less and less of an honor to be asked to do the After Dark.
So what are you doing Saturday night?
Yeah, I'm doing the After Dark.
You want to do the After Dark?
Yeah, sure. I'll do the After Dark.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that. Again, it's brought to you by Blue and Blinds. Back to some housekeeping. We will be at the Rialto on Friday.
We will.
This is Balls versus Cancer. You're putting this thing together.
Yes.
We need seat fillers.
We do.
So what I've been asking people to do is to email us, theoggoesdigital@gmail.com. Again, that's theoggoesdigital@gmail.com. Email us your name that you can go on Friday, and we'll put you at the door, a list on the door with a +1.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
You just need people to show up and hang out.
We've done a good job raising money for the American Cancer Society before the show even starts. But, with Ovies and Giglio on stage, with Chip Patterson and Mike Maniscalco, with the Sklar brothers, even with myself, you don't want to be walking into a dead room, right?
No.
And the Sklar brothers are incredibly funny. As I was telling the fine folks at CBS 17 yesterday, the fact that the four of you guys have worked together and known each other for long enough means you don't have to be the biggest sports fan in the world to enjoy what it is that the four of you guys are going to do together. Like, it's just a night to come out and have fun. There are going to be opportunities to raise money for the American Cancer Society inside the building. What is important is people are inside that building.
So we want people there. And to make that happen, we're just going to let you in. But you got to email us.
Yes.
theoggoesdigital@gmail.com. You're Full of Shit Giglio will make a return on Friday night. We'll have bourbon to give away and some other goodies as well. And more importantly, we're raising money for the American Cancer Society. Some other housekeeping notes. We've got our partnership with Breaking Tea. The hockey season's right around the corner. You got to gear up with some cool Canes gear. They've got it at Breaking Tea. They also have shirts for us.
Because the Canes knew your uniform sure as shit isn't doing the job.
Excuse me.
Okay, I know.
Excuse me.
I know the thick Stormy is on the sleeve.
Sir, they're putting out a hat for opening night with my thick boy on it.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes the calculus a little bit.
Okay.
Because the main logo on that jersey is rough.
As a thick thigh appreciator,
sure,
I'm very much looking forward to more thick Stormy.
I think thick Stormy should be the main logo, or that C.
I do agree with you.
Either if you're not going to do thick Stormy, give me that C with the hurricane flag in the middle.
My theory continues to be with that jersey is since it's tied into the Stadium Series, that we're going to get a Stadium Series announcement here soon.
Oh God! I mean,
that's why I think they did it. That's my theory. I don't know for sure.
If that's the case, great.
Yes,
but I think that this entire state has a problem. This entire state's pro teams have a problem with going to the EA Sports Create a Team generator for logos.
Well, as long as you put thick Stormy on it, I don't care.
Sure.
It's like putting Old Bay hot sauce on stuff. I'm like, okay, cool.
All right. Yeah, that's a very good comparison.
I'll work with it. So go to breakingtea.com/OG. You can find our dead logos on breakingtea.com/OG. And we also have, don't tell anybody. We have the OG secret stash. It's just a secret between us. Okay. So go to the OG.shop.
Okay.
The OG.shop. Don't tell anybody about that. I do want to tell you about Hometown Realty. Check them out online at Hometown Realty, myhtr.com. Hometown Realty will fight through the noise of what's going on with the housing market. You might be driving around. You've been seeing, I see this. You see houses that have been sitting there on the market for a long time. Is the housing market cooled off? What does that mean if I'm a potential buyer? How does this work? You need the experts to help you out with that. myhtr.com. Let's say you buy a house, you sell a house, you got to take that thing to close. Well, we know lawyers that can do that for you. wh.lawyer. Whitaker and Hamer, they're going to help you out. Maybe you need to draw up some a contract between you and I don't know, co-host of yours. Maybe his name is Demetri, and in that contract it says I cannot be any lower than 5th on your choices for After Dark.
Right.
If that's the case, they can draw up that contract for you. I might have to do that. WH.lawyer is the website.
Right. If I'm asked 6, there is an accelerator clause.
Exactly. Big thanks to Matt Davis over at State Farm and Garner. Check him out online, insuregarner.com. Call him directly at 919-779-8277. You might think you've got good rates on your home and auto. Keyword, think.
Right.
Just have a conversation. See how much money Matt can save you.
Look at that face.
Trustworthy face.
Yes.
Matt Davis, insuregarner.com, 919-779-8277. And yesterday was definitely a hockey break, unlike any other where I actually needed a break from
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hill.
So I successfully extracted Jacob from Enloe and got him to Weight Competition Center in time for his defensive clinic. And then I headed over to Pure Hockey because he needed new skates.
Okay.
And then I had to go back.
That doesn't sound cheap, by the way.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, once I realized he's now graduated into like the adult sizes.
Yeah.
I called my dad. I said, hey, I know it's September, but I think it's time to cash in Jacob's Christmas present.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Cool. He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, you want to meet us at Pure Hockey?
Yeah.
Right now? Because they don't live too far from the Morrisville location. And he's like, yeah, okay, I got you. So he shows up, he's all ready to go. I think anybody who plays hockey knows that skates are expensive. When it was all said and done, how much do you think a new pair of skates cost? With the boot, the steel, and then we added an insert too because he's got high arches.
Okay, so that was going to be my question: is do the steel and the boot cost separately?
They're separate.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay,
it's not one piece anymore. He's graduated from hey, here's an off-the-shelf CCM for like $300. Cool, right.
I'm going to say $750.
No, higher. It's $1,000.
Jesus Christ!
And he might grow out of it in 4 months.
Have you considered telling him you don't love him that much?
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
I can't do that. So because of that, I was running around everywhere. I didn't get back until late. You know what comes in the clutch? Happy and Hail. Got the app. You make it super easy. You order online, grab and go, and you can use the promo code OG25 to save 25% your one-time order. And please support our corporate champions because there's going to be a time where my dad's going to say, you've already cashed in that Christmas gift for Jacob, and you can't say it's a Christmas gift for you. So sorry, no dice. Support our corporate champions so that when Jacob needs new skates in about 3-4 months, because his foot is now 6, well, guess what?
Yeah.
It's now on me.
Right.
So.
You cannot overuse gift allowances with your father because he will tell me about it.
Well, he'll tell everybody
when I have things to do at a live event, he will corner me and tell me all about it.
You've gotten the full Ernie. You've gotten the full Ernie. Everybody has at some point. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline is Joel Anderson. He's with The Ringer. I listened to him on the Press Box podcast that is in my main rotation. And you also got The Ringer Tailgate, which, Joel, thanks for coming on, but I'm pretty sure you do this. You do the Ringer Tailgate with an old colleague of ours here in the Triangle, Tate Frazier, UNC man.
My dude, big Carolina. Yeah, big Tar Heel. Tate, man. He's cool. I'm getting to know him through this pod, and it was just kind of funny because the first week we did that show, it's just shocking that like our two schools would play each other, because like why are TCU and North Carolina playing each other? Right? It doesn't make any sense, like normally, right? Like that's a once every quarter century event,
right?
It just so happened then, and I just was like, I like Tate so much, man. I didn't really feel like giving him a lot of shit about it,
No, give him shit, because it very much is yet another Carolina attempt to be serious at football. And
man,
we saw what happened on Monday night. So I guess for those who don't know, you're a TCU guy. And I know when you guest with Bomani Jones, that whole Texas TCU thing kind of comes out every so often. He tries to give you shit about that stuff. But I do feel for you as a TCU guy, man. Like these are two high profile coaches that TCU has had to go up against here the last couple of years.
Yeah, right.
I mean, prime time. And one of them got away from them. The other, they enjoyed it for sure.
I mean, I always say that TCU gave life to the Deion phenomenon, right? Because I think if they lost that game like they were supposed to, like maybe it would have just taken a little bit more time for because at that point Colorado probably goes 3-9 then, because I think they went 4-8 that year.
Yeah,
if they go 3-9 and they lose their first game, people kind of lose interest and maybe they'll come back. But like winning the way that they did against a team that had been in the national championship game the year before, it was, I mean, I'm just glad that everybody was so much more interested in Deion than how embarrassing it was for TC to lose that game.
Now it was embarrassing for Bill. Now the question is, remember, there's a rematch, so they're going to Ireland.
Ireland, I know. Man, see, the thing is though, man, and I don't know how this is going to work out, right? Like, I'm willing to go into this with an open mind. But the thing about Deion was working with high school kids. He'd been working with kids the whole time and teaching the game in a different way than Bill is having to when he came in, right? Like this for Bill is settling. Like Bill wants to be in the NFL. Everybody knows he did not want to have to go to North Carolina. He went there, and that's fine. And I'm sure he's going to make the best of it. But that's not where he wanted to be. Deion being a college coach is sort of unfathomable. Like he never thought that was going to happen until it actually happened.
So this can go in two different ways. So let's actually start with the Deion aspect of it and tie it back into Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that Deion's still at Colorado after Shador got drafted, that Travis Hunter is no longer there, and actually, he's actually trying to run a college program right now?
Yeah. Well, and he had health issues, right? Like they cut out a piece of his bladder because of bladder cancer.
Right. And because Deion's always hustling, now he's got like a Depends deal and a tent just for him on the sideline, which is like salute, man. That's brilliant.
Yeah, man. The man is on it, man. He made the DB a defensive back a star when that just was not a thing that used to happen, right? Like Mel Blount, nobody was talking about him like they do Deion. But yeah, man. I mean, do I think he'll still be a coach? Well, I think that like this will be a really important year for him, right? Because it's the first year in a long time that he's not been coaching or having the potential to coach his sons, right? Like all of them are gone because there's not just Shador and Travis and Shiloh went on about his business too. So he's got to figure out if he's got the love for this, and I just kind of think he'll go through 1 year of this and probably step down. I mean, again, I don't have any inside information on that, but Colorado is a difficult job. Like it's not like you're not going to, to do the things and be in the spotlight the way that Deion wants to be. That's probably not going to be able to do that at Colorado. Like even when you had a Heisman Trophy winner, you're a 9-win school.
Yeah.
So like that's going to be really difficult for him. So yeah, I just can't. I can't see him wanting to be there and do it at the level that you have to be turning over his roster every year, playing in the portal. He doesn't really like recruiting. He's told us he doesn't like recruiting.
He hates it, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, so what is there really for him? He's smart enough to know he's not going to win a national championship there. So I wonder if he'll look for like, if there's a job that maybe somebody might consider him for, but I kind of doubt that's going to happen now. Or he may just be, looking on the first thing, smoking out of coaching, man.
Well, the thing with Deion and Bill Belichick is that they're both the name. Deion can go be an assistant somewhere in the NFL. Let's hypothetically speaking, let's say Deion ends up with the Cleveland Browns, so he could continue coaching his kid. I mean, how long? If I'm a head coach, I'm not bringing Deion on because if he gets there, he's going to be tabbed as the guy who's going to replace you. So I don't want to do that. And then with Bill Belichick, and you're kind of seeing this unfold at North Carolina. If you hire Bill Belichick, you essentially have to worship at the feet of Bill Belichick and everything that he does and deal with all of his people. Not only, you got Tate Frazier's old colleague in Michael Lombardi, right? I
mean, man, Michael Lombardi's son is a quarterback's coach.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that makes me wonder, like, how serious about it. Because if you look at that staff, that's not, if you're trying to really win at the college level, you bring in a little bit better staff than that. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that Steve Belichick didn't have some success at Washington when he was a defensive coordinator, but presumably you could have done better than that. Like Matt Patricia didn't show up there. Matt Patricia went to Ohio State. He didn't come down there, right? So I just kind of wonder, how serious Bill is about this. And I wonder the play that I thought, it was like, well, like first I get $10 million. So that's cool. I do my $10 million thing. I get to go down to college. My girlfriend probably can have some friends down there that she can hang out with. And then, and then like maybe if I do good enough, because I'm a big football brain, I'll probably dominate or do really well. Then I can just hand this job over to my son, Steve, when it's over. right? Like he can be the coach in waiting. And I just kind of wonder if that was a big part of his plan. But the part of that is that you got to win. You got to show proof of concept. And again, they lost to TCU. Maybe TCU was really good. And they beat Charlotte and Richmond.
Nah, I mean these are empty calories.
That's what I'm saying.
Empty calorie wins right now.
Yeah, let's just see what it's like, by like November, right? Like what does this actually look like?
See, I'm gonna, now that we're a couple of weeks into it and he's actually coaching at UNC and kind of seeing how he's going about these things, I would actually push back on the idea that there's a plan.
Okay, wow.
I'm being serious. Like, I think we've all been there. You have it in your head. You think that this is how it's going to go. All right, my time with the Patriots is over. I'm Bill freaking Belichick. I got all these Super Bowl rings. I'm going to go ahead and I'll get another job. I'm only 15 wins away from passing Don Shula. I'll get another NFL job. Didn't happen. Right. And, I think the Atlanta thing probably broke him, right?
Right.
With not getting that job when Robert Kraft intervened. Now he's still bitter about this. So maybe the initial plan was, I'm going to go to Carolina and show you I don't need you, and that somebody would finally get wise and want to hire him. But then it never happened. June 1st came and went. The buyout dropped out. Here we are. We're actually coaching. And I think now he's going, oh, this is actually happening.
Yeah.
So the question then becomes, like, when TCU and UNC play again in Ireland, let's say you're going, is you think Bill Belichick's going to be on the sideline in that Ireland game?
I think my thought has always been that he might give him 2 years. I think that North Carolina will get 2 years out of Belichick, and that'll be it. Because again, I still think he has some hope. Like I still think he has some hope that he could parlay this into an NFL gig one more time, right?
Well, the fact that he's being bitter about the Patriots and not bringing, like, how college football works, man. Like, scouts are currency.
Right.
Having NFL scouts is currency, and you're openly, well, I'm not invited at the facility, so I'm just not going to invite them here. I can't imagine there's an NFL owner that wants to keep dealing with that crap.
Well, yeah. Also, that's the kind of thing that I was like, that's not a thing you admit. Right, like I mean, like why did Bill Belichick famously doesn't like dealing with the media? Like you don't have to. He did not have to say that, right?
No,
because it happens. Like it's not uncommon for a coach to ban a team or particular scouts from their campus. Like it happens probably more frequently than people think. The thing is that most people don't say it out loud.
Yeah,
right, and like let it know that I'm taking this personal, right? And so you may be right. Like Well, I've always thought when he didn't get an NFL job, he's never getting another one, no matter how well he does at North Carolina. And I don't know if he knows that yet. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if he would just be willing to give it 2 years. And then, 2 years, he's 75, almost 75 years old. You probably are 12-12 overall. Like, I mean, that's probably, I don't think he's going to, I don't think an ACC championship is in his future.
No, that is definitely not happening. Part of the reason why I wanted to talk to you today about this particular angle is your work with Pressbox, talking with Brian and whatnot.
Yeah.
And outside of, in what you've been consuming and how you talk about college sports, or how you're just kind of talking about the dynamics of coaching personalities and how they command, right? Like this week alone, we got a 13-minute rant from Dabo.
Yeah.
Right. We got Brian Kelly getting into it with a reporter and then apologizing. We have our Dion moments and whatnot. And I get the impression that Bill's, outside of the Jordan Hudson stuff and the pettiness with the Patriots, is it really that much of a draw right now? After the initial TCU game, the curiosity, the rubbernecking, if you will, is it actually nationally relevant that Bill Belichick is at North Carolina as of today, September 17th?
I really don't think people care. And one thing that let me know that Bill may not be cut out for this was, and I mentioned this before, is that when moments before the kickoff against TCU, and he's being interviewed by Holly Rowe, in the stadium, and she's interviewing him, and she's like, "Oh, your debut was 30 years ago on the head coaching sidelines." And he's like, "Yeah, I hope it doesn't, Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys. I mean, they beat me pretty bad." And then she asked him about the hoodie, and he's like, "Oh, it's kind of my thing." But you had no energy. Like this is an opportunity. The thing that I think he's kind of missing, you have to sell your program, right? Like this is the one time that you're going to have all the eyes, all the college football fans on Monday are going to be looking at North Carolina football. You're never going to have that again. and you brought no energy to it, man. You didn't do any part of the salesman job, and that's fine at the Patriots. Like, season tickets are going to be fine as long as you win, right? But in North Carolina, man, not only is it not a football school, so you're going to have to generate some interest, but also you're talking to all the other kids and coaches around the country that are looking at this, and they're like, is that a place that I want to go? Do I think I'll have fun? Is that a guy that I want to play for? And I kind of felt like he failed that test. And I'm just, being the old Bill Belichick is not going to help you here. You just look like old Bill Belichick.
Yeah, you look like an old guy who doesn't necessarily want to be here. It's interesting you bring that up about selling it as a college football coach. Yeah. It's something that Giglio pointed out throughout the summer. Anytime you'd see a Belichick appearance, he wasn't wearing any Carolina stuff, right? Like, Can you imagine Sonny Dykes going anywhere without something TCU?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. He would wear his stuff. He's that's what coaches do. It's branding.
It's branding.
It's branding.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Jordan didn't put him on game. I thought that that's what she was there for. Like, that's part of the
branding is for her and him, not necessarily North Carolina.
Fair point. There's
also somebody you say Jordan too. I mean, hell, not even Jordan. Jordan, that's her job. But then you got Jordan.
Yeah.
Who saw 3/4 of that and said, "Yeah, is my plane ready? Is my plane gassed up, ready to go?"
Michael is not showing up again, man. Yeah, I just people don't. And college football is so big. I mean, even Dion doesn't hold on to people's attention in quite the same way. Like, people will watch. I think Colorado still gets pretty decent ratings relative to the school it is. And
sure.
But it's not the phenomenon that it was 2 years ago. And so many people have tried this. Eddie George is coaching at Bowling Green. Michael Vick is coaching at Norfolk State. Deshaun Jackson's coaching at Delaware State. Ed Reed was at Bethune-Cookman for a month. People are trying this stuff all over the country now. Like, it's not that unusual, and it's not like Bill Belichick is a compelling figure, and so he's going to have to sell it, and he's not going to, and therefore people are like, why would I tune in to watch North Carolina play Richmond? Like, Bill Belichick ain't gonna make no tackles.
No.
So, yeah.
No, you're basically watching him in an ill-fitting quarter zip and a visor, which he never wore before. And it's kind of funny how that works out.
Right. Yeah, it's just there's no juice to the program now.
Okay, the reason why I wanted to talk to you about that, because locally I can say, we got stuff going on. Like, we got NC State, we got Duke, again, you're in a local area, these things happen. And that's what I was curious about in talking to you, is just whether or not, and you just nailed it. Is there any juice left with this Carolina story? And I felt like not just the TCU thing happening, but just his general demeanor selling a college football program, there is no juice there anymore.
No, I mean, I think now if they were to keep winning, and they don't have the most difficult schedule in the world, right? Like, it's a schedule that is theoretically manageable. They got Clemson. Is Clemson good this year? Who knows, right?
We like to joke they're ACC good. They're okay. You lost to Georgia Tech, but they're still in the running to win the league and make the college football playoff.
Exactly. Like, they could theoretically get with them. They're at Cal. That's a tougher game than you expected. Yep. But man, look, most people, if they see this schedule, they'd be like, I could handle this. UCF, Virginia, Syracuse, Stanford, Wake Forest, Duke, NC State. Like, they could theoretically win those games. But those teams are also looking at North Carolina and saying, we could probably win that game. But if he were to win 9 games out of that, which is, not impossible but unlikely, then maybe people would show back up. Like, maybe people would be like, okay, like, he's competing for the ACC championship. Let's all show up for the Duke game or the NC State game at the end of the year or whatever. But yeah, there's nothing. It ain't like North Carolina, and I apologize. I didn't watch the game against Richmond, but I don't think they have anybody that is like must-see TV right now either.
No, that's the other thing too. You would have watched the Richmond game if they had somebody that was must-see TV. Unfortunately, they just don't have that. Speaking of must-see TV, Arch Manning was supposed to be, or is, must-see TV, right?
Yeah.
And we'll close on this. I was skeptical of Arch Manning for a variety of reasons. And my general attitude when it comes to this kind of stuff is, if you took Manning off the back of the jersey, how are we talking about this quarterback? Is he a generational talent, which got people all up in arms and arguing? Does it get Paul Feinbaum to say this is the greatest quarterback prospect we've had since Tim Tebow at Florida and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, let's slow down. If he was that good, then Steve Sarkisian would have taken Quinn Ewers off the field and put Arch Manning in there. I think that's a very basic way of looking at it, in my opinion, but that's kind of how I look at it. Now that it hasn't lived up to the hype, have lessons been learned by our colleagues when we do this hype, or is we just going to go for the next quarterback and hype them up too? Or we're going to do it again when we get to the draft?
Of course not. I mean, because the problem is that because readers have a voracious appetite for mock drafts, right? And they can't wait until the one draft is over and then you do the next mock draft. And you know how those mock drafts go. They have to put in a bunch of quarterbacks in there, right? So you start elevating people like Cade Klubnik. You know, like, again, I would love to see the Cade Klubnik that I've read about in the mock drafts, right?
Dude, we're all waiting on this.
Yeah, I was
we're
like, okay,
on this
guy's a first round draft pick. Please, I would love to see it someday. Yeah. But yeah, man. So like, it's not, no. Of course they're not going to learn the same lesson. This is going to happen over and over again as long as people keep reading mock drafts. Shedeur Sanders. The reason people are frustrated and upset about Shedeur Sanders being a 5th round draft pick is because mock drafts and everybody told us for over a year he's going to be a 1st round draft pick. Mm-hmm. And we didn't know that. A lot of people did not know that there was that was not a consensus opinion, and that's before he even went and showed his ass in those interviews and everything, right? So yeah, man, no, we're gonna Arch Manning. I bet if Arch Manning, if he has another few good games, we'll be right. People will probably be right back on it. They'll be right back on it, and especially if Texas goes to the playoffs or lives up to expectations. We'll be right back on it, man. We live in America. We know we don't learn any lessons. There's no lesson. We don't learn lessons in this country.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways I can go with that. We need to learn the lesson that the NFL and sticking to sports is a very fluid situation, right?
Yeah, man, it's
a fluid situation when we're like, well, wait, we were told no, get that out of here, but now we can.
Oh no, man, no. It depends on whose opinions we hear from. You know what I'm saying?
Whew, yeah. On that note, Joel Anderson, Ringer, check him out on the Press Box podcast and the Ringer Tailgate. We appreciate the time, man. We'll talk to you later.
Oh, anytime, Joe. Thanks, man.
Big thanks to Miller Lending.
Look at those fat stacks of cash.
Those fat stacks of cash could be yours if you refinance with Miller Lending. No closing costs. You're saving money right out of the gate by not trying to pay down a rate. There's also the math not mathing for those who do pay down a rate. You're like, oh, well, the rates are like, I want to get into the lower 5s or potentially a 4. Cool. It's going to take you about 8 years to break even on buying down those rates. And typically people refinance about every 4 years. See where the math don't math on this?
It's not normal.
No. So the reason why you go with Miller Lending is because if the rates come down or if your situation changes, you got to consolidate debt. Maybe it's time to do a home remodel. You just refinance again, no closing costs, and you save money every single time. I've done that. I've refinanced. Geez, I'm probably I'm getting close to double digits on refinancing with Miller Lending.
How long have y'all been in that house?
The current house, we've been in there for 15 years.
Okay. Wow.
But the rates fluctuated a lot.
Sure.
So, and we've also done a remodel, bathroom remodel. So you have to do these things. So you can do the same thing with Miller Lending. Check them out online at millerlending.com/theog or call them directly at 919-447-3377. You take that thing to close because we sent you there. You're going to get 2 things. You're going to get a Raleigh Wine Shop gift basket and a Rowback polo directly from Giglio's stash. We were debating whether or not it's a game worn jersey.
Yeah.
For like we sign it.
Right.
Like Giglio wore this for an after dark and it could be yours.
Right.
Or you want a new one, like a fresh one. Either way, it's up to you when you take it to Miller Lending. In the meantime, you can go to rowback.com, use that promo code OG20 to save 20% off your order. It's pretty much shorts and hoodie season right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So if you want to really up your shorts and hoodie game, you can get both at Rowback and be incredibly comfortable throughout your day.
Listen, riding my bike in the morning these days, that OG Triangle Media Rowback hoodie is the perfect thickness.
Really is.
It is perfect.
Really is. Speaking of thickness, I'm getting thicker because of the 2 Roosters ice cream that I've been consuming. That's okay. It's all worth it. I had the Fluffernutter last week. I'll probably be going back again this week because I got to do it. Now, if you're going to the Duke State game at Wallace Way, 2 Roosters is there. And they got a new flavor called Devil Tracks. And you're probably thinking, well, Joe, I'm a State fan going to this game. Why do I want to have something called Devil Tracks? You're right. So you know what you should call it? Devil Tears.
Oh, there you go.
And you can just sit there, enjoy your ice cream, and just look at Duke fans enjoying the Devil Tears while potentially NC State wins. Now, if NC State loses, Duke wins, Duke fans can then make fun of them. Like, oh, we got an ice cream, you don't. Like, it's that simple. So go to tworoosters.com. They got great stuff. And of course, our friends at Color Graphic, they brought you the brief history of Triangle Good over the summer. They sponsor our social media feed as well. You'll see the graphic at the end of our videos on TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts. And they've helped us out with our sandwich boards and some other fun stuff. They can help you. So hit them up, sales@colorgraphic.com. Again, that's sales@colorgraphic.com. You're looking for a car wrap. You're looking for signs to put up around your business or around town. Heck, they even do the flags downtown. Like you got the Stadium Series. Or, hey, we got this Raleigh Wide Open. Like all that kind of stuff. How old is that?
Can we get one out in front of the building here on Fayetteville Street?
We can put our sandwich board out there.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, we could probably put it out there. I don't think anybody's going to steal it. Who's going to steal our sandwich?
I say let's get some flags. Let's just put them up until the city tells us to take them down.
Why not? So hit them up, sales@colorgraphic.com. All right, since you're here and I can tap into my old radio brain, we started off the show with my favorite radio bit, is blank okay? Let's do another, what they call in the business, a benchmark.
All right, very good.
For those who are unaware, in radio, program directors will always come in with their brand new idea about how they're going to get people to stick around and listen to the show. And it's all basically a remix of the same idea. This or this.
Right.
This or this.
That's a very good point.
So that is a classic program director move. So I'm going to tap into my program director brain and give you a this or this. So we're going to call this big deal or no deal.
All right,
Demetri, you like
good.
that one?
That
like
one's
free of charge. Tell Barrett.
Tell Barrett, yeah.
Great idea. Deal or no deal?
Look,
big deal, no deal.
I'm still super close with all of Mia O'Brien's old partners down in Jacksonville. I'm going to call them and tell them, hey, I got one for you.
Hey, I remember when
$15,000
out of my binder of ideas. So, all right, big deal or no deal. Tom Brady, as a partial owner of the Raiders, being in the booth, on Monday night with a headset. It was one thing. So, for this requires context. Tom Brady, while he is a very average Fox analyst by day,
but getting better.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't know why people get so obsessed about this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
just for the layman, real quick.
Yes.
Obviously, all these guys, when they enter the broadcasting business, they do a bunch of practice broadcasts on old games. There is no way you're going to get better on those. You have to have the unpredictability.
You got to have it. No, you're absolutely right about that. So he's been doing this with Fox, and all the while he has been a part owner of the Raiders. And you know, it's this thing where people are wondering about a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Like, here is Tom Brady sitting in on, this requires more context. Your broadcast teams, actually, it's not even like that anymore. Just about every broadcast team that's working a game gets access to coaches that no other media gets.
Yeah. In the pros, especially, it's negotiated that way.
It's negotiated that way. There's a level of trust between the announcers and analysts and the coaches that you give me information to help me do my job. I will not just be popping up on radio shows saying, well, you know, such and such told me. And you'll hear it in a broadcast and that, well, when we met with the coaches this week, they said that this guy was an X factor. If we met with the coaches this week and they said, if we were going to win today's game, we had to run the ball 80 million times. Like, you'll pick up on it if you actually listen to this. At issue,
I think if you watch ACC games on ESPN, they will tell you when they met with specific players.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Right. At issue is the fact that Brady is not allowed to do these meetings or go to the facility because of the fear from other owners that he is getting this information.
Right.
And then helping his own team out, to the point where Pete Carroll had to answer questions on Monday night when they saw Brady in the booth with a headset saying, well, is he calling plays? Not true, not accurate, not accurate. ESPN's all over it. Not true, not accurate, XYZ, right? I want to know why this is allowed. And it can't be the simple answer of, well, it's Tom Brady.
Okay, that's why it is a big deal. Not because of, to me, it's not because of the inherent advantage. This is the Raiders. History tells you they will piss that advantage away. It is a big deal because the NFL keeps changing its policy for this guy. And I know you say the answer cannot be because it's Tom Brady, but all the evidence, Joe, seems to point to the answer is this is okay because it's Tom Brady. And to me, that's a big deal.
The NFL put out a statement on Tuesday saying that Brady did not violate any league rules by being in the coach's booth. Quote, there are no policies that prohibit an owner from sitting in the coach's booth or wearing a headset during a game. Brady was sitting in the booth in his capacity as a limited partner. All personnel sitting in the booth must abide by policies that prohibit the use of electronic devices other than league-issued equipment, such as Microsoft Surface tablets or sideline viewing systems. The NFL, this is from the Washington Post, the NFL imposed restrictions last year on Brady's access to teams in his Fox role. They remain in effect this season, but they were loosened beginning with the Super Bowl last year. And this is from the statement on Monday from the NFL. Tom continues to be prohibited from going to a team facility for practices or production meetings. He may attend production meetings remotely, but he may not attend in person at the team facility or hotel. He may also conduct an interview off-site with a player like he did last year a couple of times, including for the Super Bowl. Of course, as with any production meeting with broadcast teams, it's up to the club, coach, or players to determine what they say in those sessions. The other parameters remain intact. He may not egregiously criticize officials. There were no issues last year. So you do have twofold issue. This is why I get back to Tom Brady not really being a good broadcaster. He's limited as it is.
Right.
Okay. So right off the bat, we're dealing with restrictions, and I'm not getting a full, true analysis from Tom Brady because he's compromised. So right off the bat, I have an issue with him being an analyst. Issue number two, the NFL can give me all the semantics about, well, he can't be at the facility. It's up to the teams to tell him what they want to, what they don't want to do. It's done remotely. It doesn't matter. He is calling games that feature teams that the Raiders will see, including Washington.
Right.
Okay. So he was just on a Washington call a couple of weeks ago, and the Raiders are going to see Washington either this week or the following week. And you've had access to watching all the film. You've had access to the staff and the players because you talked to them already. And then now you've been in the booth. That's the other thing that I have a problem with. It's one thing if David Tepper decides to get in the booth, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing if, who did I see recently? Was it
Jera?
Yeah, well, Jerry's just going to do what Jerry wants to do.
Right.
No, was it Irsay's
daughter.
Irsay's daughter.
Yeah.
She's got a headset on. Okay, cool. But you know what those owners aren't doing? They're not on a broadcast.
Also,
and getting access to the players and the coaches in this way. And and I guess this is what ends up happening with fans and why they get mad or why media gets mad about all this kind of stuff. It's like, we have rules and we abide by the rules. And in every instance, there's always that one person, well, they don't apply to him. Look how handsome he is. He's so handsome.
So that's what I was going to get at. Irsay's daughter sitting there with a headset on. Owners going to owners meetings. Owners meeting with opposing coaches, at various functions, right? That's all in one category. Let's say, Joe, we were in the National Podcasters Association.
Yeah.
And we were all competitive with other sports podcasts, right? And the National Podcast Association hired Bill Simmons, who is both a member, like his podcast is in this, and also he's an analyst.
Yeah.
And Bill Simmons goes around and talks to all these other podcasters. Are you really telling me that if Bill Simmons, the originator of the sports podcast, or I guess maybe the first big name of the sports podcasting format, if there were rules saying he is not allowed to get an inside look at OG Triangle Media unless OG Triangle Media allows that, says it's okay.
Yeah.
If Bill Simmons comes to you, Joe, and says, I'd really love to get a look at what it is you do, are you telling me that you would have the wherewithal to say absolutely not? Or would you say to yourself, would there be a part of your brain that says, this is the best to ever do it? Sure, I'd love to explain to him what it is I do so he can tell me what he thinks about it.
Yeah, probably.
I think there are a bunch of quarterbacks and coaches that are just.
If it was Clay Travis, I'd say no.
Again, I was talking about the best to ever do it, not just some guy that does what we do. I think there is some element that Fox counts on of these guys being willing to grant Brady access that the NFL has said he is not supposed to have simply because he's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
What I find more interesting.
It's a way to skirt the rule.
What I find more interesting about Tom Brady is, and I'll fully admit that it doesn't necessarily click for me. Is Tom Brady an interesting person?
No, of course not.
Okay. Tom Brady seems to be everywhere right now.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know, maybe it's big divorced man energy. Like he's doing stuff with the Saudis now over flag football.
Right.
Like that kind of stuff. Like the man has like a bazillion jobs right now. And I'm just thinking to myself, dude, chill.
Well, he's got 4 kids and they're all going to hit college at about the same time.
Yeah, I guess there's that too. But again, I just don't get it with Tom.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen Tom Brady be in any way, shape, or form interesting is when years ago
when we thought he was dying.
Well, yeah. Years ago, there was like a GQ profile on him where he was basically saying like, yeah, man, I'm this and that. But I think it boiled down paraphrasing. He's like, yeah, I watch porn like everybody else. I'm like, hell yeah, Tom.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, now we're talking, man. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, brother, I'm watching it right now.
Yeah, I'm reading this and I got it up on a screen. So that was it. But after that, Tom is like speed running, and I've said this before. Tom seems to be speed running 90s NBA players that want to go on. There's like, this league is soft now. Back when I played, Tom, you literally played 3 years ago.
I mean, he was doing that shit in his second to last, like his first season in Tampa. He was doing that shit.
Right. Secondly, on big deal, but to wrap on the Tom Brady thing, this is why it drives people nuts.
Yeah,
is that you say there are rules. You say that competition is the utmost important thing we ever do.
Right.
And then you continue to do things that give you a whiff of impropriety.
Right. I mean, like, look at what's going on with college basketball, right? Once the illusion is out there that the integrity of the game is compromised. Well, this isn't betting on and throwing games, but this is the integrity of the game being compromised.
Which now gets us to the NBA.
Yeah.
Big deal, no big deal. And that relates to Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, and this cap circumvention that appears to have taken place. We did OG on Business this week. For those who are unfamiliar with OG on Business, Demetri and I talk about the sports business side of things. Talk a lot of media stuff. We talk about money, ratings, etc. Right? Somehow you guys find this stuff interesting.
It is a mystery to me.
Like, it's interesting to me and Demetri because we're in the business. Why y'all think it's interesting, we still haven't figured out, but you guys do find it interesting, so we might as well do it, right?
Yeah.
So we appreciate everybody who's given us $5 for OG YouTube membership, and you get to check out OG on Business. And you had posed a question about this Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, Clippers thing in relation to Pablo Torre finds out. For those who are unfamiliar with Pablo Torre, longtime ESPN guy, went to Meadowlark Media. Now he's with The Athletic, and he does this investigative journalistic podcast called Pablo Torre Finds Out. For our area, Pablo got on people's radar with his reporting on Jordan Hudson and Bill Belichick. We had Pablo on in the summertime when he said straight up she was banned from the facility. We were like, whoa, Pablo. And because Pablo is very, very smart, he'll go on any podcast that asks him to. So he came on with us, and we had a really, really good conversation. So now he's having a hell of a 2025. It started with the Bill Belichick stuff. Now he's getting into these weird cap circumvention.
Don't forget about the NFL collusion thing.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot
that was
about
the
NFL
legit
collusion.
big one he got.
So you asked this question. What was the question on OG Business related to Pablo Torre?
You had said that you thought that this house of cards on the Kawhi story was going to come crashing down this week. And you said it as a throwaway as part of something else we were talking about. And I stopped and I said, anybody that is watching this right now, I want you to tell me if you even know what Joe is talking about. And that is a genuine question, because I don't think you and I, or at least I can say for myself, I don't have a good grasp of how much these big investigations
resonate with people.
Yeah.
From Bubba, these are YouTube membership.
Oh, okay.
Responses.
So these are comments. Okay.
Yes. We should probably do a mailbag version of OG Business, by the way. Bubba, who is Pablo Torre?
Okay. I dismiss that one.
Wes, I'm a Pablo fan, so I'm acutely aware of this Kawhi investigation. However, I also listen to all his other podcasts. His wheelhouse, while it leans sports, encompasses so much of a larger spectrum. It's just really generally entertaining, but not. I'm going to infer from Wes, and like I'm familiar with what's going on, but it's really not something that I'm getting wrapped up about. From Matthew, funny enough, I found Pablo through y'all. Ultimately, when it comes to the NBA, I don't think they need a smoking gun. I believe cap circumvention rules that Pablo, quote, specifically mentioned that the NBA will consider circumstantial evidence enough to lay down the law. Okay, so that person clearly knows, understands. Here we go. From Jesse, I do know what Ovies is talking about regarding Pablo and the Clippers, but I don't care about the story.
Yeah.
It's my assumption that every professional sports team is doing things to skirt the salary cap and remain competitive. If the Clippers got caught, who besides the NBA Players Association and the broke teams who can't pay players under the table care? I agree with Jesse.
If I may quote Dale Earnhardt, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Exactly. From DST. I know the Clippers story. Honestly, don't care about it, though. Oligarchy, gonna oligarchy. Again, that's my general attitude about too. From Brant, I do know what Joe's talking about, but not because I want to. It's just because other people are talking about Pablo's content. That sounds accurate as well. From D. Rice, I've been following this Pablo story about the Clippers and Kawhi. I'm an NBA fan, so I'm truly intrigued by the situation. That makes a lot of sense. From Kyle, yes, I listen to Pablo on a somewhat regular basis. I like his general deep dive content style, but I wasn't on board with the recent Leonard content. It was entertaining, but I'm not sure it holds water. I'm here for the Bill Belichick Hudson stuff. From Pac-Man, the Clipper story has been the most discussed sports story amongst my friends the last 2 weeks. Most of whom don't really watch the NBA. Primarily, it's debate about, can a billionaire be held accountable for breaking rule number 1 for what owners cannot do? I think that's an interesting way of going about it, but we know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Billionaires do not.
Right.
We know the answer to this. And I think that's kind of where I'm at with this Kawhi Leonard Pablo story. It has moved away from, did Ballmer and the Clippers break actual rules with Kawhi Leonard, to a fight over Pablo's style. That's what it's now morphed into. Because it used to be, there were no real stakes or consequences with the Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick stuff.
Yeah.
That's tabloid fodder. Nobody gets hurt. With the NFLPA collusion stuff, that was more so there's really nobody looking out for the Players Association. It wasn't necessarily about rules being broken or something of consequence was going to happen. It was more so, that's an interesting look of how the sausage was made. And the players are really being not served here by the mission of the Players Association. This one actually has consequences for real, with an owner that seems to be breaking the rules. But even Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, seems very shoulder shrug about this entire thing. So we've kind of moved on from, we know the answer. Billionaires are never held accountable.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Okay? Ever. So spare me this. So now it's become a fight over Pablo, his style, and whether or not he actually does have the goods.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't have the goods, this heater that he's been on goes away. This is something you and I both know, and it was said to me by somebody in the business who's been doing this for a very, very long time. You could put together a 10, 15, 20-year career of great shit. The minute you fuck up once, that's all they're going to remember. That's all they're going to remember. So I'm really curious to see how Pablo lands this plane, man.
So first of all, I try to think of the right way to say this because I like Pablo as a person.
Yeah, I do too.
And I don't think Pablo is doing something that is so detrimental to journalism. I think, to me, it is no big deal because, who fucking cares if Pablo Torre got this wrong? Just who cares, right?
Because you're tying it back to the whole, look at that. Billionaire is going to bully billionaire and they're trying to find ways to circumvent the cap and break the rules?
No, not just that.
So what are the consequences for Ballmer? Is he going to lose the team?
Okay.
He might lose some draft picks. So what do you do in this situation?
This is the thing. What are the consequences for Ballmer? Well, do there need to be? They haven't won a playoff series since signing Kawhi. So the consequences seem to be 44 and 44.
Is the consequence for Ballmer that you now are required ahead of every Clippers national game that you have to play you have to play the video of him dancing to start me up?
To be fair,
at the launch of Windows 95?
To be fair, I hope we were doing that anyway.
I mean,
we should have been doing that anyway.
Is that something we have to embarrass him? Is that the only thing that works? Hey, remember that time You danced horribly to start me up over an operating system launch?
Yeah. By the way, I was wrong. They have won a playoff series since signing Kawhi. No,
at the end of the day, they're still the Clippers.
The other, exactly.
I mean, maybe that's the punishment. Hey, you've got this incredible arena. You've got, you got all this money, but guess what? You bought the Clippers.
And then from the Pablo side, at the end of the day, it's not that popular of a podcast. And I'm not saying that because it's not that popular, there should be no consequences or anything. But in the court of public opinion, popularity kind of matters of whether or not we're going to give our outrage the time of day.
Well, no, hold on a second. You say it's not a popular podcast, but I see it routinely in my Apple top 200 podcasts for sports.
Yeah, you don't have to have that many downloads to be in the top 200 for sports.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because this is what I always like to say about how successful are you? I'm like, let me tell you how low the bar is to be considered a successful podcast. Folks, we are, by every metric used in the podcast world, a highly successful podcast.
And understand, when I say not that popular of a podcast for Pablo is popular by podcast standards.
Yes.
But this is similar to the conversation you and I and you on this show have had over and over again about the lack of a monoculture.
Yeah.
We are pulled in so many different directions that literally when Brownlow and I average about 400 listeners an episode for This Team Is Killing Us, that ain't bad.
No, it's really not. But hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. To be clear, I'm not saying it's good. I'm doing my job. Brownlow needs to get her shit together.
Yeah, no, Brownlow, step it up.
Yep.
You need to step up your mosquito game.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be outside. You want to be grilling. You want to enjoy that furniture that you spent money on.
Look, let me show you
then
something.
You don't
Joe.
because of mosquitoes.
Let me show you something. This is easy.
Yeah.
Not efficient.
Good point. Good point. So you know what you do? You contact Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Yeah, it's getting a little cooler outside, but we still got that one September heat wave still come through, and mosquitoes will be active. So go to bugsbite.com, get your service treatment, start thinking about next year, and you can also get the inside of your house taken care of with Pest Authority. Bugsbite.com. You can bundle and save. Big thanks to our friends at the Butcher's Market. They bring you the OG mailbag on Fridays. They bring you OG Live, which we'll be doing tomorrow at 2:00. So check that out. And of course, more importantly, when it comes to running around like I've been doing lately, you don't necessarily have time to cook. Well, Butcher's Market can help you with that.
I was thinking about this today because my daughter's got play rehearsal until 6:00. When am I going to have time to get dinner on the table?
You go to Butcher's Market. You can get a sandwich or you can get something from the frozen section, stick it in the oven for an hour, and you're good to go. So go to thebutchersmarkets.com. Maybe you've gone to Longleaf Swine and you got inspired by the brisket and you want to do it yourself. You go to Butcher's Market. They can send you on the right path. Or you can just be like a normal person and go, you know what? They're going to do it better than I can.
Right.
So I'm just going to go to the Longleaf Swine, right? Go to longleafswine.com. Check them out. The brunch is fantastic on the weekends. You can find out more and get your tailgate covered thanks to our friends at Longleaf Swine. So go to longleafswine.com to check out their tailgate options. And more importantly, just drop on by. They got great food, great bourbon selection as well. Demetri, would you say you're good with money?
No.
Same.
Not even a little bit.
Which is why you need a fractional CFO in your life.
Okay.
That's where Brassfield Accounting comes into play. Based in Homer, Alaska, Demetri.
Oh, my. That got nothing to do there, but look at money.
Right. Chris has literally all day because it's always day in Homer, Alaska. I want to say they get 25 hours of sunlight in Homer, Alaska.
That sounds right.
Sounds about right. If my math is correct. No, 28 hours of sunlight.
Okay.
My math is right. Now, all jokes aside.
Those 4 more for savings.
Chris is going to help you out, especially if you're a small business and you are dealing with government money. Let's say you've got some sort of grant, loans, etc. You got to make sure you're in compliance with a lot of stuff. And Lord knows I'm terrible with I am terrible with forms.
Yeah.
Awful with forms. It is my kryptonite. It's not for Chris, though. So check him out online, brassfieldaccounting.com. Again, that's brassfieldaccounting.com. All right, let's get out of here with some Hey Joe. Let me change the slide real quick. You can hit us up on the YouTube comments, social media, but we prefer you talk to us like real humans. All right. Although at some point, some of these calls might be AI generated, and we might not be able to tell. But in the meantime, I'm pretty sure these are human calls.
Oh, gee.
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
Big thanks to Nature's Relief for sponsoring the OG Sports Phone. Check them out online. Nature's Relief Hempstore.com. That's RELEAF Hempstore.com. I took half of a single strain indica last night.
Mm-hmm.
That pizza hit at 10 o'clock at night.
Joe, I want to tell a story about product use from.
Is it Nature's Relief story time?
Nature's Relief. It is.
Before we take some calls here?
It is. Cycling Frog gummies.
Yeah.
Let me give you a testimonial that nobody else could possibly give you.
Okay.
Flying to Greece this summer.
Yeah.
10-hour flight direct from Charlotte to Athens.
Uh-huh.
I don't do good on planes to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't know what to do with myself for 10 hours.
Okay.
So I took a whole gummy.
You did not take part in the raw dog of flight trend?
No.
Just stare straight ahead.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
No, so I took an entire gummy thinking, all right, I'm just going to be out of it.
Piece of cake.
For 10 hours.
Piece of cake.
Joe, this is not an exaggeration. A dude died on the flight over there.
Yes.
Died on the flight over there. My wife, a physician, was part of trying to revive him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know when I found out this happened? When we landed.
Because you were out.
Because I was out.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a testimonial. So good a man died, I didn't even know.
Yep.
And my wife tried to save him. Amazing. So go to Nature's Relief and ask for that gummy. Like, yo, I need the one that Demetri said he slept through some guy's death.
Yeah.
Cool. That's the one I need. Now, let's go to 336.
Hey, this is Connor from Orlando, Florida, and big time NC State fan. I had a big epiphany, gigabrain moment, if you will, on the way back from Halloween Horror Nights late on a Tuesday night. Yes, you heard me right. If we are under the assumption that Dave Dorn, that is, hears these calls, or at least, what the fans are saying, and then gets mad, and we like Salty Dave kind of equals better football from NC State. Should we fake mean takes toward Dave, mean sports phone calls to Dave to then make him mad, to then fire up the football team, right? Because the only type of rat poison for NC State would be what the fans say about NC State, not what everyone else, you know what I'm saying? Am I getting somewhere with this? Am I workshopping a take, if you will? Let me know, guys. All right, bye.
I need to know if he went through the wet or dry side of the Terrifier house at Halloween Horror Nights.
I am not a Halloween Horror Nights
No,
guy.
me neither. Not even a little bit.
It's not because I'm scared of it. I just don't.
Oh, it is because I'm scared of it.
Oh, you are legitimately scared?
1,000%.
It doesn't affect me. I just think it's cheesy.
Mm.
So, because I know it's not real.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to go with stuff that I know it's not real, I might as well make it, Tron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Space Mountain.
I mean,
The Halloween Horror Nights thing just doesn't do it for me.
I mean, I get that it's not real. I still don't like people jumping out at me.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Like, I don't think being scared is fun.
How do you feel about a tiki bar where every time you order something, the room does something?
Yeah, that's what tiki bars should do.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because that was another thing in Orlando that I did this past a couple weeks ago when I visited my brother. I went to this place called Permanent Vacation.
Okay.
Which they spent gobs of money at this place.
Yeah.
Shout out the Cheeks. So
is this a person or just butt cheeks in general?
No, this is a person. It's
Okay.
like this is an OG business episode one day about Disney influencers.
Yes.
Because that's a fascinating subculture, right? So Cheeks, he fancied himself a Disney influencer there for a little bit. So anyway, he loves a tiki bar. And we went to this tiki bar. And every time somebody ordered a drink, the entire bar did a thing. Like sound and the lights would happen and like a fog machine would go. It was cute once.
I don't think this is the conversation Colin thought he was going to get from his phone call.
From Connor? No, probably not.
Connor.
No.
Not Colin.
Okay, back to that. Anyway, he said Orlando. It got me thinking about Permanent Vacation
right,
for some reason. But and Halloween Horror Nights, which is not something I've ever really been into. I'm more of a not so scary Halloween kind of guy.
Sure.
So anyway,
the fireworks.
Yay. The short answer, yes. If you need to go Tyler,
yeah,
on Dave Dorn,
Connor,
do it. Exactly. Listen up, Connor. All right, so 919.
Ovies. I know what you were trying to do just a couple of days ago. We had references to Pavia, Fuente, and Rivera all within one podcast. Just happened to coincide with September 15th. El mes de la herencia hispana. Viva la raza! All kidding aside, Pavia is an absolute dog. Dude's a baller. I followed him out in New Mexico State. And you want to talk about a program that has difficulty trying to find any footing in today's college football, or historically speaking, any college football. They just don't have anything going down there. Dude's a heck of a player. Giglio, you can't casually drop a reference about Brian Kelly one day being NC State's coach without further elaboration. I got to hear some more context there. What's the angle? Details, please. Finally, Clemsoning, that conversation with Matt Clain, you and Giglio, from later in the summer at the ACC kickoff, dude was very salty, extremely salty and frosty. Not sure what his deal was, but you've been proven right, and I'm there with you, Joe. I just didn't see Clemson being a threat this year. I heard a lot of sound bites over the summer on SiriusXM. Basically every segment was worshiping on the knees for Klubnik. Klubnik is mid at best. If he was worth a damn, he could have beaten out that sorry-ass Uyangalale. But he's terrible. Terrible. Anyways, I enjoy seeing the Clemson fans get all bent out of shape. It's delicious. All right, guys. Enjoy the podcast. Take care.
Diego Pavia is the kind of guy, that's why you fall in love with college football.
I highly recommend everybody look for the clip of him at New Mexico State where he gets face masked, his helmet gets turned around completely backwards, and he throws the ball anyway.
Amazing. He's like, him and Hayes King are like, those are the dudes.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you like college football.
Yeah.
Not this Arch Manning crap. Give me dudes like that. As far as the Brian Kelly thing, tell you what, we'll cover that in the mailbag on Friday as to the context around Brian Kelly.
Joe, I had a conversation with friends from Alabama earlier this week because I had said during the offseason that I could see Kalen DeBoer leaving for a place like UCLA where there is no
pressure,
right? And so a buddy of mine texted and said, so what do you think? Is it happening for UCLA? And I said, I've come around to believe not for UCLA, but let Dave Doran retire.
It's a different kind of, I see what you're saying.
I understand, but nobody is throwing bricks through windows in Raleigh.
Fair point. Let's go to a 336.
Joe, what's going on? Jack from Wilmington. Just out here walking my dog. His name is Sammy, named after Sammy Seahawk. Go Seahawks. Just getting ready for the Duke State game on Saturday. I have a little bit of a tip for the gamblers out there. I'm sure this one has been picked up on already, but State's defense doesn't seem like it's anything to write home about this far in the year. And then while Duke has a really great front line on defense and some great corners, the linebacker, the middle of the field area has been a little bit of an issue. And so when our pass rush isn't getting home, that middle of the field isn't open because we play a lot of soft zone. So I haven't put my bet in yet. I got to thinking today that the over for this game on Saturday is probably a lock. So I'll be placing that most likely as long as the number isn't egregious. I just thought I'd put that out there. And remember, Giglio, lines and odds are subject to change. All right, y'all. Go Blue Devils.
Look at that tip. You know what that means. Let's take a look at the DraftKings Sportsbook, shall we?
All right, sir.
Let me pull up the ACC real quick. Let me look at this Duke NC State game. By the way, Carolina is a 7-point dog at Central Florida. Interesting. And the Duke NC State game, in my opinion, is essentially a pick 'em at this point. Duke is a 3.5-point favorite at home. Not the worst. By the way, Miami is a 7.5-point favorite against Florida, which is interesting considering how we've discussed Billy Napier and that Florida program right now. I'm looking at your
the total is 58.5. Do you still feel good about the over?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
Is Alabama not playing this weekend?
No, Alabama's off this weekend.
Oh, they're after. Okay, so I was looking at the lines. Anyway, there's all sorts of fun stuff that you can do. What Giglio hates is something that I love. Yeah, Giglio is he's a
disciplined
He's an
gambler.
old school gambler.
Right.
You know, give me the line, give me the money line. I'm going on a game. Maybe I'll do live line. He lives on the live line. Not me. I am all about $5 gang on quick single game parlays. I like to see what they kind of cook up. For instance, flip the script plus 850. NC State money line, Duke money line first quarter over 58.5. Yes. Yes, over 58.5. NC State's defense might be the thing that Darian Mensah and that offense needs.
Yeah.
And of course, Duke's defense has been a hot mess. So yes, I do believe that you're going to take that over for sure.
I mean, even their other quick single game or same game parlay, Duke money line in the first quarter over 58.5. If you're betting over 58.5, that still has a plus 290 payout, man.
Yeah. So it's all there. You can build your own if you want to. It's all there on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And if you are a new customer, use our promo code. Okay. Use that promo code OG25. With OG25, your first $5 bet gets you $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. And over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. So it's your season. It's your shot. We're having fun with some of the college games. Maybe you're more of an NFL person. That makes a bunch of sense. We got the Panthers and the Falcons. I can't see odds on attendance for this game. Or based on, I'm going to take Falcons fans money line.
Right.
I think there's going to be more Falcons fans in the place.
I think that's
than
probably
there are
fair.
Panthers fans. But you can go look up your NFL stuff as well because DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use that promo code OG25. Again, that's OG25. You'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
The line rising on the Falcons now, up to a 5.5-point favorite.
It's time for legal. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 8878-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. Last radio bit I'll give you. I'm considering, there's a game called Utter Nonsense.
Okay.
The whole point of Utter Nonsense, you pull a card
Mm-hmm.
and it tells you to talk like a pirate.
Oh, sure.
Like you are you have to put these cards. You're a salesman who's trying to sell shoes, but you're a pirate. I feel like I do that with legal, where it's like, I need you to sound like an old timey radio man.
Right.
Wow.
There is, when you're
Gambling
reading that
problem.
phone number, it's really hard not to channel Grits and Gravy from the World Series of Dice sketch on Chappelle Show. What you know about 7?
Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. Demetri, my 6th choice for the OG After Dark, will be here with us on Saturday. More importantly, see us at the Rialto on Friday night. Email us, theoggoesdigital@gmail.com. We will see you all Friday night at the Rialto, and we'll see you tomorrow for an OG Live.